Good morning, everyone. So my name is Jubel Antoria, and I will discuss the device and equipment requirements. First, we will discuss the requirements for switches and receptacles. Switches must be selected to match the load they control. Large lighting installations that require many switches may have the switches contained within a panel board like enclosure called lighting control panel. Receptacle must be selected to match the appliance or equipment they serve. So, same sa picture na nandito ngayon sa slide. So, ganyan ang itsura ng panel board. So, sometimes sa mga bahay natin, meron tayong mga panel board na naka-align sa mga appliances para makontrol ang mga lightning at yung appliances para sa mga load ng kuryente. Next. Ordinary convenient receptacle and switches are generally wall-mounted. There are no specific mounting height requirements for wall switches and receptacles. Switches are normally mounted approximately 48 inch or 1.2 meter above finished floor, unless otherwise specified. Convenient receptacles are normally mounted approximately 16 inch or 44 mm, unless otherwise specified. Convenient receptacles in bathrooms and restrooms are normally mounted approximately 44 inches or 1.1 meter. So this is the requirements para sa mga hole-mounted switches. So first is 48 inches normally, and sometimes meron din 16 inches. And sa mga rooms or bathrooms and restrooms normally is 44 inches. Ayan, so as we see in the picture, so ito yung mga normally na nakita natin sa mga switches sa bahay natin, sa bathroom at sa mga rooms. Ayan. Next. Ayan. Switches are typically oriented to day, strip up, and downward orientation. Second, receptacles are customarily installed with the grounded slot oriented downward unless the receptacle is controlled by a switch, in which case the receptacle is frequently aligned with the grounding slot upward. So, kung napansin natin sa ating mga switch is, di ba, meron siyang downward and upward. So, on and off. Ayan. Next, preference of grounding slot orientation appears to be a cosmetic decision because there are no regulation that the mandate orientation of the grounding slot. So sabi rin dito, preference of grounding slot orientation appears to be cosmetic decision. So depends din sa atin kung ano ba yung style or ano ba yung yung parang design ng mga switches na ating gagamitin. Next. It is recommended that receptacles be installed with the grounding slot oriented upward in contrast to historical practices. This recommendation is made to improve safety with the grounding pin of a flag installed so it is oriented downward. As in common practice, if a metal object or tool or kitchen utensils falls and strike a grounded flag, the first blade the object could contact are the grounded or hot in grounded conductor. A contacting condition should result in short circuit and arcing. By orienting the grounding slot upward, the grounding pin should be the first blade to contact the object, which should be created a short circuit. So this is uh, the cause or the historical background kung bakit naka-upward position para for the safety. Ayan. So, sabi rin dito, if merong mga tools at tumama doon, so ma-avoid ang short circuit. Ayan. Next. Next, we will tackle about the overcurrent protection or circuit breaker and fuses requirements. It says here, an overrun protection or OCP device, a fuse or circuit breaker serves to limit current level in conductor by interrupting power when current limitations are exceeded. It is prevent excessive heat from damaging conductors and related equipment. Therefore, the overrun device must be matched to the conductor and equipment so that current carrying capacity of the conductor and equipment are not exceed. Ayan. So, kung mapansin natin sa mga bahay natin, meron tayong mga circuit breaker. So, merong circuit breaker minsan sa aircon, may circuit breaker sa rep, or merong isang main circuit breaker para sa buong bahay natin. In case merong mga open circuit or closed circuit is ma-prevent ang damage sa mga appliances at sa mga sunog, ganun. Next, the current carried or amperage by the electrical circuit or system protected by an OCP device must not exceed the maximum current rating of the circuit breaker. Additionally, conductors must be protected in accordance with this ampacity. For example, in circuit with a 200 ampere rating should have a 2 or 20 ampere fuse or circuit breaker protecting in all the ampacity of the conductor in the circuit must have capacity after correction of at least 20 amperes. So, sabi dito, so kailangan ang circuit breaker, meron din siyang fuse na ang capacity is 20 amperes para pag mayroong mga load na malakas, so ang fuse mo ang unang masira, so hindi agad yung breaker or yung mga appliances. So ang circuit breaker din is nagiging device or isang device na to protect ang bahay natin at yung mga appliances para maiwas sa mga sunog at ma-prevent ang mga dangerous na mga mangyayari. Ayan, next. The voltage rating of a fuse or circuit breaker must be equal to or greater than the voltage of the circuit in which the fuse is applied for power system of 600 volt or less. Fuses of a higher voltage rating can be applied on circuit with a lower system voltage. The example of a fuse rate at 600 volt can be used on a 480 volt system. Additionally, the amperes interrupt current or AIC rating for circuit breaker should be at least 5,000 amperes and 10,000 amperes per fuse. So this is the normal requirements para sa fuse and circuit breaker para ma-prevent ang mga damages at para ma-prevent ang mga errors pagdating sa mga wiring at sa bahay. Ayan, next is the warning. So it says here, the fuse or circuit breaker must be installed at a location in the circuit where the conductors receive power. So this is one of the important na ma-remember natin at sa mga mag-wiring na ang fuse or circuit breaker must be installed locating in the circuit where the conductor receive power. Ayan. Next. So, same dito sa nakita natin sa picture. So, yan ang itsura ng fuse and circuit breaker. Next. We will talk about the feeder requirements. A feeder is a set of conductors that carry a comparative large amount of a power from a service equipment to a second panel board called a sub-panel board, where branch circuits further distribute the power. Ayan. Feeder must be designed to provide sufficient power. The branch circuits they supply to feeder conductor. Size is based on the maximum load to be applied by the feeder. Feeder should be capable of carrying the amount of current required by the load, plus any current that may be required in the future. So, kita natin dito sa diagram. So, first is the service and the feeder and the branch circuit. So, the feeder must be sufficient power para ma-support niya ang mga branches like the service and the branch circuit. If the feeder is hindi siya ganun ka powerful or sufficient, so ma-damage yung mga appliances or yung mga current na dumadaan at yung ating pag-wiring. Ayan. So, next. Next, we will talk about the switchboard and the panel board. So, switchboards and the panel board can be used as distribution equipment at a point downstream from service and trans equipment. By definition, panel board feeding light and convenient receptacles and having at least 10% of the circuit rated at a 30 amperes or less are identified as lighting and appliance panel board. Next, power distribution panel board feed other panel boards called sub-panel boards. Motors and transformers must be not circuits powering lights and convenient receptacles in a single panel board. Not more than 42 current over current protection devices must be used for protecting lighting and appliance branch circuit. So this is the requirements of switch and panel board. So same sa picture na nakita natin or sa slide. So ganyan itsura ng panel board. So sometimes wala namang panel board sa mga common houses, pero most mga panel board makita natin sa mga big buildings, sa mga big establishment. So meron sa mga panel board. Ayan. So yan ang mga requirements. Ayan. Next. Ayan. Thank you. So this is my report. So I'm happy to tackle about the switches and the devices and the requirements.